Welcome back to the United States now, where the Democrats in the U.S. have raised concerns about interference in the investigation of Special Counsel Robert Mueller after the firing of Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Wednesday.
The forced resignation of one of Donald Trump's earliest supporters because of the president's unhappiness that he recused himself from overseeing the Mueller probe has set off alarm bells that the country may be heading for a constitutional crisis.
President Trump swiftly appointed Matthew Whitaker, the new acting Attorney General, a man who served as Sessions' chief of staff and who has been a longtime critic of the scope of the Mueller investigation.
It was a sudden farewell for Trump's former Attorney General, the very first Republican senator at the time to break ranks with his colleagues and go all in with a candidate not many initially took seriously.
Make America great again.
But the president's unhappiness with Sessions has boiled over in public after his recusal from overseeing the Mueller probe in March last year due to his close affiliation with the Trump campaign.
He's signaling things that he has said very explicitly without sending any signals whatsoever, which is he does not like Jeff Sessions. He really does not like Jeff Sessions. He thinks he's a traitor. He does not think he's a good attorney general. And he was literally waiting for the moment that the midterms were over to be able to fire him. I think he's also signaling the fact that he wants somebody whose thinking is more in line with his to be in charge of the Mueller investigation. And that's Mr. Whitaker. And so what he wants is somebody who's using words about the Mueller investigation like fishing expedition, like disgrace, and I think that's what we will largely get.
President Trump tweeted, as he does when he fires members of his administration, that Sessions would be replaced by Matthew Whitaker, who wrote in a 2017 op-ed that the Mueller probe into Russian interference and possible collusion should be limited, warning that without clear boundaries, it could resemble a witch hunt, terminology the president himself often uses to describe this investigation. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, seen here leaving his home early Thursday, had been overseeing the investigation to date.
It's not clear right now what this means for Rosenstein, except that I do think Whitaker's taking over, and therefore he would be, quote unquote, off overseeing the Mueller investigation. My guess is he was never terrifically jazzed to be in charge of the Mueller investigation to begin with. But I think that he will likely be reassigned to something else.
Democrats who swept to a majority in the House of Representatives this week have raised their concerns.
Protecting Mueller and his investigation is paramount. It would create a constitutional crisis if this were a prelude to ending or greatly limiting the Mueller investigation, and I hope President Trump and those he listens to will refrain from that. I find the timing very suspect, number one, but number two, our paramount view is that any attorney general, whether this one or another one, should not be able to interfere with the Mueller investigation in any way.
With their newfound oversight authority in the House, Democrats are expected to convene hearings and call witnesses when they take over in January in their quest to investigate this president's actions and hold him to account. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.